Ways and Means Committee will come to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Scott? Commissioner Baker McCormick? Commissioner Marecki? Commissioner Commissioner Baydoun?
Here.
Vice Chair Palomera? Commissioner Varga?
Here.
You have a quorum present.
Thank you. Next item.
Chairwoman's remarks.
I have none today.
Item C, approval of the minutes of the January 28, 2020 meeting.
So moved.
It's been moved and supported. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Unfinished business, there is none. Item E1, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2020-35056, certifying revenue in the county road fund.
Consider it read. Any discussion on it? It's been moved
Support.
and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item E2, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2020-35066, certifying revenue in the county road fund.
Commissioner Marecki?
I'll move approval. This is what we talked about in the last meeting.
Yes.
Yep.
Been moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Then motion
Aye.
carries. Next item.
Item E3, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2020-35067, certifying revenue in the county park fund.
Thank you. It's been moved and supported.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Item E4, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2020-35069, certifying revenue in the county park fund.
It's been moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
I just have a question
Okay.
on this.
Commissioner Marecki?
Hi. Is this for two prosecuting attorneys, two new attorneys?
No. No, this was revenue that they received.
Could you please identify yourself for the record?
Dustin, I'm the budget analyst for DPS Finance.
Let's turn your mic on and
Okay.
do it again.
No, this was for revenue collected in fiscal years 17 and 18 for tree reforestation revenues. They didn't use the revenue at that time. We're just carrying it forward. It fell to fund balance. We're just carrying it forward into the year so they can use it for the services.
Okay, wait, is this,
This is number 5. We're on number 4 right
I'm-
now, but
oh, we're on 4. I'm sorry, with this computer, I'm
problem.
getting mixed
you
up.
we
Okay,
can go ahead and get the answer for you.
okay, for number
5.
5. Do you know what, I don't want to confuse you up here. Okay, sorry about that, I'm flipping through this and
We're still getting used to our iPads.
yeah.
5 is for you. Are we on number 4 or number 5?
We,
We are on number 4,
Okay.
but we're going to allow the question on number 5
yeah,
since
number
you brought it
5,
up.
there's a,
Number 5, Kelly Rao, Budget Director, Management and Budget. Number 5 is to certify grant funds for the Sexual Assault Kit Task Force for criminal analyst and a clerical specialist.
okay, those are the two positions? Okay, this is for the PPO Victim Assistance
That is correct.
Agreement? Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, thanks.
Commissioner Anderson?
I'll add to the confusion a little bit. We'll go back to 4.
We're going to take 4 and 5 together for the
Okay.
vote.
All right. I just wondered about the tree plantings, and as you mentioned, and I'd read that there was 1 or 2 years that the money was not used, and you're just taking it over to the new budget year. What's the plan on that? Is that going to be used? Is there a plan to that we're going to see reforestation efforts in the parks? Is that what we're looking at?
For the record, Susanna Wizzini, Director of Finance for DPS. That would be a question for the parks operations, what their plan is. We have it in the budget, but I can ask Alicia, if you guys can put it in a request, I'll have Alicia Bradford respond to it and let you know exactly what they're going to do with that grant. We're just moving the money.
Right, I understand. Okay, I guess we can direct it to Alicia, you know.
Commissioner Marecki will
Thank-
follow up on that.
Yeah, Commissioner Anderson, are you talking about number 3, the grant?
Number 4.
There's two.
Okay, because there's two. There's a tree grant on number 3, the 20,000, which is going to let us assess the trees and do plantings. We're going to put in about 80% on top of that.
The whole three was.
So that's on number 3.
Oh, all right.
So number 4, looks like it's just,
I had my note under number 4.
because we just talked about number 3, that grant in COPS.
Okay.
Yeah, we got used to this thing.
Yeah, I thought he had said that this was just transferring money over that wasn't used over the reforestation.
Correct.
Grant on number 4.
Right.
That is correct.
Mary, you know the answer.
Mary?
Mary, help us.
Through the chair, Keith did say that these were funds that they didn't use in fiscal year 2016-17 and fiscal year 17-18, so they're forwarding over to 19-20 to use.
And that's item
Number 4,
4.
yes.
Okay. So I was on the right one, I guess, but I'm just, I'll direct my question to the director then. Yeah, thank you for the plans.
Commissioner Marecki moves items 3 and 4.
Support.
It's been supported. Any more questions?
4 and 5.
Or 4 and 5. Something's in the water this morning.
It's in the iPad.
4 and 5, 3 we already did. Supported by Commissioner Anderson, or Baydoun. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Item E6, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2020-35072, certifying revenue in the county health fund.
Already. Commissioner Marecki?
I do have a question on this.
Sure.
This says the budget amendment is due to certify grant revenue from the Michigan Medical Marijuana Operation and Oversight Grant. And then in our information, it says it's going to be used for personnel, fringes, pension services, other charges. So I'm just wondering, do we have restrictions with this, the monies from this Michigan Medical Marijuana Operation?
Kamal Keperu, Management and Budget Finance Director for the Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services. I think that's part is a typo because most of this grant is going out to, over about 90% of the grant is going out to the vendor. So I'll double check on the writing, but what I do know is that grant is being outsourced for the most part. I do have a breakdown
To what kind of vendor?
to a vendor to do the advertising.
Oh.
Because this is the second year of this grant.
Okay.
And see right here,
Services and contractuals.
yeah, it's mostly in service and contractual. 447,000 is for service and contractual, and this is for the advertisement and all of that for the grant. It's only $8,000, which is for personnel. And if I'm clear, that's just we allocated the director salary.
Okay. Do you have the vendors, who the vendor is?
No, I don't have the vendors. I think it's multiple vendors dealing with advertising. Could you remember the go ahead.
Mary, could you qualify some of the?
I can't
answers?
technically qualify, but I believe that once the contract will come to the commission for approval, and we'll know the vendors, correct, Kamal?
I can't answer that.
It's $500,000, so I'm going to assume that it would.
Well, I've already.
Maybe we can get that before a full board.
I've already seen some of the advertisements, if that's coming from this, so.
Right, but that was last year's
from
grant,
last
so this
year.
is the second year.
Is it the same vendor?
It's the same, well, I won't speak on that. I don't know if she switched or not.
Okay.
That ad
So what's the
starts
question?
out really funny. It's a funny way of starting out. Listen, Wayne County. The advertising, yeah.
Last year's grant, they used towards advertising and promotion for the medical marijuana grant.
Yeah.
Right, and this is the same, this is just year two, and it's the same process. But what do I need to find out from the director or?
Just the
You want to know
vendor's
about,
name?
are the vendors, are the contract for the vendors coming to the commission? That's the question?
Yeah, just who the vendor is.
Okay.
Okay, well, that clears this up, because this was different than I thought. So, great.
Commissioner Anderson?
I just wanted to clear up that this is not advertising for the business, right?
No.
No.
It sounded like that at the beginning, but I know it's not.
Right,
But
no.
just for anyone that's viewing the recording, it's not for, so this is basically for proper handling of edibles and things like that. And
The advertise, getting the news out, or
Right.
the information out about.
what the law is.
Correct,
basically.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
All right,
Just
thank
for,
you.
this is just for medical, right?
My understanding, yes. That's,
And,
yeah.
Commissioner Baker McCormick?
and I just wanted to basically say that that's what it's an educational campaign to make sure that Wayne County residents understand the new laws and what they can and cannot do with the new laws.
Thank you.
Can I say one more
does.
thing?
Sure.
I think Ms. Osterberry, she'll be down here. She's in the building, so Health and Human Services, she should be here.
Right.
Okay. I know it warns against usage by pregnant women and do not drive and use and drive, so it's a good message. It just starts, for me, it starts out kind of weird, listen, Wayne County. It's like almost going the other way at first for me, and then it comes back to be careful. And it's a warning then of what the laws are, so, but it's good to put it out there. Alrighty. Any more discussion on this item?
Nope.
Commissioner Palomero moves, supported by Commissioner Martha G. Scott. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Item E7, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2020-35076, reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
And any discussion on this item?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item.
Item E8, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2020-35048, reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
Commissioner Anderson?
I'm sorry, I did need to go back to the previous one, just a quick question. That's salary for a new position, is that correct? Isn't that the one that's EDC?
The salary is not for a new position. It's a transfer.
Do identify yourself for the record, please.
Yes. Kelly Rao, Budget Director, Management and Budget. The salary is a transfer from under the CEO's budget to Economic Development. It is not a new position.
Okay, it's not to cover a salary. I thought I read somewhere that it
Increase.
was an increase in the salary?
Correct.
Okay, and do you know who's that's for?
I believe that was for Khalil.
Okay, so, and what's the current salary then? Do you know?
I don't have that information in front of me.
It's a nice increase. All right, thank you.
And just,
Commissioner Baker McCormick?
thank you, Madam Chair.
On the last item?
On the
The one-
last item, yes.
Okay.
And it says unplanned salary increase. What does that mean? Is it,
At the time that the budget was adopted, there was no plans to increase the salaries. With the new Department of Economic Development, there's been additional duties, so the increase was made.
What's the percentage of that?
okay,
Both of the departments are CEO departments, so it is the CEO's, within the CEO's budget. Mhm.
thank you.
Okay, back on item 8. There's any discussion on item 8? Commissioner Martha G. Scott moves, supported by Commissioner Anderson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposes? Motion carries. Next item.
Item E9, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2020-35064, reallocating expenditures in the Central Service Fund, Information Services and Technology Fund.
Any questions? You're here on this particular? Okay. Identify yourself for the record. Turn your mic on and identify yourself for the record. Thank you.
This is Majid Essek, the Finance Manager in Department of Technology, Department of Information Technology.
Okay. Do we have any questions from members? Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So for the services, the increase in rental expenses, did we do something, did we get additional equipment, or is this the
No.
same equipment?
It is actually, this is, we are going to extend the lease of the primary data center and the secondary data center for both of them. This is the lease of the building. So actually, the current contract was like charging to building to building rental and the professional service. So we found, this is not the proper way. So we're gonna charge it all, the primary and the secondary data center, we're gonna charge it to the building rental. So that's why we're moving the fund from the professional service to the building rental to make it sure, it is the proper account.
Okay, and this is the Southfield location?
The Southfield and Plymouth, the primary data center in Plymouth and the secondary data center in Southfield.
Commissioner Anderson?
Go ahead.
If you.
I
if
just
you're
wondered if we
done.
could get, is that something that has always been in the contract with Secure 24, that we are actually paying building rent for the company we're contracting with?
Yes, yeah, we're leasing the building, these two buildings, from Secure 24. This is starting in 2009.
Okay.
And we're renewing this one, and now we're gonna renew it again for another 5 years for the primary data center and for 19 and a half months for the secondary data center.
Okay. And so that's always been a part of that contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought when we approved that contract before, that it was the company had their own site, that it was their building, or that they were paying, so I was not under the impression that we were paying a lease for them as well.
It was some kind of like other company that they took part, of this building, so just to give us a credit. And I think this one is done. They don't rent any more location, in this building. So we don't receive any more credit,
Okay. What is the plan, the long-term plan? I thought we were going to a cloud-based backup system.
Yes, this is for the secondary data center. Once we done, because this is mainly for the PeopleSoft and JD Edward.
Okay.
And once we move to the new ERP, so maybe we are not gonna need that anymore. So we're gonna move to the cloud.
And this is good, this is only for 1 year?
This is for 19 months.
Okay, 19
The secondary data center just for 19 and a half months.
Okay, so we have a clause in there too that we can.
Yeah, by this
cancel.
time, hopefully we're gonna have the ERP, so we don't need that, so we're gonna move to the cloud.
Okay, all right, that's what I thought we were supposed to be moving to, so.
Yeah.
That's all I have on that one.
So today we're moving the money over, and tomorrow in government operations, there will be the actual contract for this.
Okay.
So if you want to go back to tomorrow's agenda for the
Governance.
government ops, then you'll find the item in that agenda, the contract itself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any more questions?
Is there an approval out? I'll move approval.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next item.
Item F, such other matters as may properly be submitted before the committee.
Members, do you have other items?
I just wanted to
Commissioner
ask.
Anderson.
Thank you. As a follow-up, Kelly, could we get the current salary and the previous salary for that increase, the EDC?
for Khalil.
Khalil. What was
Yes, I will
what-
have-
Okay, if you could send those to us, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Kelly, do you have anything outstanding that you're working on that we should have a heads up on?
You'll be receiving the fourth quarter 2019 report shortly, within the next couple days. Then we will be starting on the budget process for 2021.
Looking forward to that, aren't you?
So as we did last year, members, under such other items, I'll just announce it now. If you have budget priorities that you would like us to address, then I would, aside from Miller Road, we're all on board for that. Please let me know. Give me some ideas of what you would like to see us working on for the next budget. And I will go try to fight for that with the chair for us as a commission. So we probably won't have to fight too hard, but we have to let them know what it is that we would like to see. So let me know as soon as you can. And Kelly, I'm looking forward to bringing you that list.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. The only thing I need you to follow up on is the veterans outreach that we budgeted for last year. We need to know where that person is. Has that person been hired, where it's been placed? But I would like to have a report on it in writing in our next Ways and Means.
Okay.
I understand that the answer is no, but I would like to have it come to us.
Okay. I'll
Commissioner
be certain
Scott, do
that
you
you get
have
that
something
information.
on that?
Other than I spoke to the director.
You want to
and,
put your mic on, please?
I spoke to the director after our last meeting, and he indicated that they had not hired anyone just yet.
Okay. Andy, do you have any information? Okay, can we have something for next meeting then? 2
So
weeks
he
from
is-
today?
He is interviewing for
Okay.
right now, currently.
Hoping
Great,
to find someone who is a veteran.
Right.
okay. Hopefully in our next budget, that when we put something in the budget from the commission, that maybe it might be followed up a little bit sooner than, like now we're kind of almost half the year over to the next budget. So we kind of would like to see those programs that we put in there. And I know it's not your decision. This is going out just for anyone to hear.
I'll be certain that the department gets you some information.
Thank you much. Anything else? Mr. Abbo, do you have anything?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just in reference to what you just requested, that we send you information on what we think should be in the budget. Well, you know, I've been fighting the war on trash in my district, so, and in Detroit, period, because we really need some help in that area. So the alternative workforce, I know at some point Wayne County had some assistance in cleaning up. If there is any way we can get that program or some form of program, even if it's not.
We currently have, in our current budget, we have monies for containers for dumpsters. If you organize a cleanup in your district and you call environmental, they will make sure, under the CLEAN program, it's been extended. And so under that program, they will give the containers. But as far as the work program, it's workforce itself, we don't have enough sheriff in the jails,
Right.
sheriff deputies in the jails to cover them. And then we don't normally they would be the ones that would be with the inmates or people who are cleaning up. They would be supervising them, so the personnel is not there. Hopefully, when the new jail is built, then we might be able to resurrect that program.
Or if not that program,
Similar.
maybe something whereas we maybe hire young people to help with that, so that it doesn't come from the sheriff's department or needing sheriffs, but we can, fund some program.
For Detroit, I
to-
think
to
we
help
need
with
to,
that.
in Detroit, I think we need to also contact our judges. And I believe Detroit does have a program.
They do.
And so we need to utilize what we have, and then we can do our cleanups, and we'll have the dumpsters for that. So that's what I plan to do, have community cleanups. And people are very good at wanting to volunteer if we just organize it, but we're finding that government can't do everything for us, so we have to help ourselves in order to get the quality of life that we want. Or we have to raise taxes, and none of us want to raise taxes.
It's true.
Commissioner Martha Scott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was going to say, that had been done through the courts before.
Yes.
And so if we can find a program in the courts to do that. And maybe through the summer program, will we hire folks in DPS?
We have to remember, we have 43 communities, and so it would be very costly to hire that many people, even part-time, to cover the entire area. But I'll take it up again and see if we can expand it a little bit more than we already have. But we need to work with our judges at the local level. And maybe there might be in our districts where one community does have it, where we could borrow into our other communities from that pot for the cleanup, just in case they don't have enough, so they can overlap. So we do a lot in my particular area where Melvindale, Lincoln Park, kind of pooled together for projects that one may not do, but the other one does, and then another project that one may not do and the other one does. And that works really well. But, and same thing for Detroit as well. But thank you, and yes, you can put that on my list. Any other items? Next item.
Item G, public comments.
Anyone from the public wishing to comment? Anyone from the public wishing to comment?
Item H, adjournment.
It's been moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
We're adjourned.